right, thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of TVC Breakfast. I'm Veronica Dan Ipoy, and joining me again this morning is Kemi Folademo. It's the midweek already.
Absolutely.
Counting down to the weekend.
And Christmas.
You can't wait.
No, I can't.
Well, good morning. The festive season is almost upon us.
Yeah, right.
Almost.
It's
Till
upon
December
us.
the 1st.
It's upon us already.
Anyway, as we look forward to the festive season, today we have an array of issues we have to look at this morning. Talking about the matter of former President Olusegun Obasanjo's statement with regards to the kind of democracy, how it is that democracy hasn't really worked, liberal democracy hasn't really worked in this part of the world, talking about Nigeria. And then we're also looking at the opportunities in the entertainment sector, so to speak. And then we're also going to begin from this matter of the student loans. Now, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged Nigerian youth to tap into technology to advance their knowledge and future careers. Mr. Gbajabiamila stressed that the newly introduced student loan will increase access and quality of education in the country. Senior correspondent Sharon Ijason has the details.
It's the 35th convocation of the Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, with the theme Empowering Nigerian Youth in the Present-Day Economy. Addressing students and dignitaries at the ceremony, the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, said the new student loan scheme introduced by the federal government will advance education in the country.
In January 2024, we're talking about 2-3 months from now, Nigerian students can access these loans to fund their educational aspirations. The application system for the student loan program is being designed so that there is no interface between the loan administrators and the beneficiaries. Applicants will apply online, be verified online, and be credited based on the verifiable documents and credentials they have submitted. Nobody will need to know anybody to qualify for these loans, so that access to this financing will be genuinely egalitarian.
The accomplishments of our graduates.
The rector of the institution, Ibrahim Abdul, mentioned initiatives taken by the management to encourage youth empowerment.
As part of activities of this center, we placed a call for products from staff and students. And we have innovative products from staff and students that we are going to empower today. We are going to give them, with the permission of our honorable guests, several amounts of money where the college is aiming to empower people to innovate and recognizing innovations.
Stakeholders agreed that education remains the foundation of national wealth, which will bring innovation, exposure, and confidence needed by youths to participate in global economy. Sharon Ijason, TVC News.
It's good that the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, right, a mouthful, is reiterating this statement by the President, talking about the student loan. I recall that sometime this year, the President said that no student will be denied quality education as a result of poverty. That is why they are pushing this student loan, ensuring that every child and every student has access to quality education. And at a forum like this, it's important that this is reiterated so that young persons whose minds are quite active at this stage can take advantage of it as much as possible.
Yeah. Indeed, and it was also a very clever move on the part of the government in picking this topic, because it is one that relates, that many of the students can, of course, relate with, and it's from the expressions, it appears that it was a very welcome, welcome assurance by the presidency. But of course, these are all still plans. These are all still in the works. It hasn't taken off. Nigerians are indeed expectant, though at the onset, at the time this policy was announced, it was greeted with some measured, celebration and commendation, because then it is something that for many Nigerians, many people have never experienced it. But for a few, chunk of Nigerians, they seem to have experienced what it means to enjoy this kind of student loan from the government. So for many youth, this is something that they've never, ever experienced. So many people were wondering how it's going to be enforced. And the date the presidency announced for it to be enforced has since passed. We understand that it's now
January 2024.
The government is looking at January 24, and we hope that the committee in charge will work towards that date so that we can have some more clarity. There's the issue of the establishment of the education bank. Not much has been heard about that, because that is where applications are going to be channeled to. So we don't know much about the banks. And then there's the issue about the said cumbersome details in the processing of your application. All those things need to be simplified, at least to assure Nigerians that indeed this is indeed something that many people can access and benefit from.
Another issue that was a turning one was the matter of repayment plan, because you have to pay, I think, after 2 or 3 years after your service, and a particular sum. Recall that the amount that you can get is 500,000 naira. So the student is expected to pay, and if they do not have a job, there's a way that they will have to repay that money one way or the other. And that also was a major concern for a majority of Nigerians as at the time, because when you look at the level of unemployment, what is the plan to ensure that these persons are gainfully employed such that they can pay back these loans as at when due? Was the other issue, because we recall that this matter of student loan, this is not the first time government is introducing it into the system. I think in the 70s it was introduced, and it failed because there wasn't proper structure in place to ensure the repayment of the loans collected. And so that is also a concern. Do we have the right structure in place to ensure that the repayment process is as seamless and that people will pay as at when due, so that other persons can benefit at the end of the day? Because it's not just the first set of persons, it's something that the government is looking to be an ongoing thing. And so another aspect is the matter of funding. So it is when these funds are even returned that we can fund other persons, and then government will still also channel funds into the bank that you mentioned earlier, so that people can access as much as possible. So what will also be the criteria for choosing persons? So there are so many issues that have to be addressed ahead of time, so that there will be as much clarity, and then the structure in place is a robust one, and then it is seamless, so that people can take advantage of. We've been talking about technology. How are we going to use this to ensure a seamless process for those who can benefit from these student loans? It's critical.
The issue of the money is also another issue, also another controversy. The 500,000 naira for many Nigerians may not go much, but of course you can also look at it from the other side, that if that is available at least, for every Nigerian, and then there's also the criteria that your household for the applicants now must be one that your annual income is less than 500,000 naira to access that. And that might also bring in so many Nigerians into the bracket, millions of Nigerians, going by the current statistics that we have about people who are multidimensionally poor. So what you said is also something that is worth considering. The issue of they should work with data. The issue of structure is also something that is indeed paramount. So they should know at least a good guess of Nigerians who will naturally fall under the bracket of applicants. So at least there can be something in the bank. There can be something to at least provide for the many Nigerians that are bound to take advantage of this initiative.
Absolutely.